Fans were left speechless, friends in disbelief, and social media in a state of pure anarchy after a dramatic face-off that completely upended the hip-hop industry. Yes, there were cameras present as what began as a normal presentation at a charity event swiftly descended into one of the most heated confrontations in recent memory. It began when Claressa, who isn't just famous for her fists, showed up at the event looking furious, perfect, and prepared for anything other than a fight with Remy Ma. No one expected Claressa to confront Remy directly, and tensions were already high due to weeks of rumors that the two had been making subtle digs online. Say the words that would make the crowd go crazy. You want to talk tough? Say it to my face this time. The room froze, and Remy slowly stood up, her encouragement tightening around her like a storm brewing and her expression unreadable. Calm. Too calm? She questioned. But beneath that composure was a fierce rivalry that no one had completely comprehended until recently, months of subtle insults and fan conjecture. But it was real. This wasn't a promo. This wasn't a skit. This was raw, unscripted heat between two powerful women who've been carrying battles both publicly and privately for far too long, and now that the world was watching, the truth was about to come out. Accusations would fly, secrets would be revealed, and by the end of the night, one of them would be left questioning everything. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear next is more than just a fight. It's a clash of empires. Let's get into the real drama. The atmosphere inside the velvet-draped banquet hall was electric, not with excitement but with tension. It was supposed to be a celebrity fundraiser for inner-city youth, complete with red carpet glam, champagne toasts, and smiling influencers taking selfies. Claressa Shields and Remy Ma were the epicenter of a storm that was building beneath the designer dresses and diamond chains. From the moment Claressa walked into the room, her eyes turned, her presence was commanding, her energy was unapologetically dominant. She was wearing a fierce white tailored suit, and her championship aura radiated off her like heat. Not only was her boxing legacy the reason everyone was talking, but there were also rumors that Remy Ma had been disparaging her on podcasts and quietly replacing her on IG Live for weeks. While fans quarreled over who said what, Claressa had clearly come to settle the score in person, across the room, and Remy Ma stood like a queen among her court, dressed in black sequins and gold heels. She was regal but ready, and she laughed with the crowd parted like the sea as Claressa crossed the ballroom, her heels thumping against the marble floor like countdown ticks to a bomb, and then she stopped inches from Remy. The room held its breath as Remy turned slowly, as if already knowing what was behind her. You finally, and now here we are, Claressa smirked, her eyes locked, and she said, I told you to say it to my face next time. Remy's tense phones went up, and you could almost hear the buzzing of Instagram notifications. What exactly? Asked fans who were live streaming the event. Have you been using my name in interviews to gain influence? Remy inquired. That was it. Claressa took a step forward, saying, I don't chase anyone, Remy, but I don't run either. Mona Scott, who is always quick on her feet, tried to step in, ladies, but her voice suddenly became sharp. Let's not pretend that she hasn't been waiting for this moment. You want to act like you're above everything, but you've been sneak dissing for months while pretending to be innocent and dropping my name like it's candy. Remy scoffed. I don't mean to drop your name. You do it for us both enough. Rather than violence, the room exploded in noise. In January, when asked which female celebrities she thought were overacting during an appearance as a guest on a popular radio show, Remy said, some people confuse confidence with arrogance, without naming them. A week prior, Claressa had gone on Instagram Live to talk about how many of these rappers are incapable of dealing with strong women who truly fight their battles from there, so fans assumed she was referring to her when that clip went viral. Just because you beat someone up in a ring doesn't mean you're untouchable. At the charity gala, Mona attempted to defuse the situation again, but when Claressa said, can we just step outside for a second? Why have you been telling people that I tried to subvert your BD deal? Claressa stated in a deadly serious tone as she folded her arms and said, I'm listening. I blocked your endorsement with BT, Claressa repeated. I blackballed you. That's a damn lie. The room froze and even Mom's mouth fell open. Ray blinked. Excuse me. You heard me. You're insecure because I'm out here winning, period. Claressa yelled. You think winning fights makes you a queen? The internet went global, and Remy lifted her hand not to strike to hush everyone. Well, let's have a conversation, she said. Baby, I've been running this before you learned to bob and weave. Claressa rolled her eyes and said, oh, please no. Let's talk about Remy Bart. Let's talk about how you showed up to my video shoots without my permission last month. Let's talk about how you tried to get cozy with my team behind my back. Let's talk about how you want my position but don't have a position to want. Clarissa's jaw clenched. A drink was thrown, and no one knows who did it. Bodyguards rushed in, and the event that was supposed to be a fundraiser quickly became the most talked about event of the year. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok with theories, videos, and memes, and the hashtags #Remy, #Claressa, #CharityHouse, and #QLash exploded, but even as they were escorted out, the drama wasn't the footage changed everything because of what happened next, which was caught on camera. The next morning, while the internet was still reeling from the ballroom explosion, an anonymous Instagram account shared a video that threw gasoline on an already raging fire with the caption, "They lied to yell. Here's what actually happened." After the cameras went off, the surveillance footage was grainy and black and white, taken from high above a side hallway, probably close to the venue's kitchen or back entrance. It had over 100,000 views in a matter of seconds, and by the end of the hour, it had over 2 million views. Claressa turned abruptly, stepping directly into Ray's face once more. You want to talk about relevance? You have a couple of mixed tapes and a jail record. I have world titles, and you want to compare the two women standing face to face again. No security, no intercourse, just raw emotions. What started out as a fiery exchange in front of hundreds of people ended up becoming something much more personal in the back corridors of the event space. That's the only scary thing about this. You act like being undefeated means nobody can check you, but guess what? Hall titles don't make you untouchable, Remy growled. Those gals in the ring aren't me. I check who I want. Claressa moved closer, her voice low and cold. You just did, and now I'm about to respond, moaned Scott, who was somehow following. Then with her assistant, rushed into frame, pushing frantically between them both. Mona yelled, "This is not happening. Not in my name. Not in my event." But neither woman flinched. Claressa snapped, then said something that silenced even Moa. There was no full fight, no punches, no brawl, just a powerful show. Claressa was caught completely unprepared when she stumbled back and bumped into the wall. Security rushed in too. The frame seconds later, grabbing both women. The video cut out, but the damage was done. The video was analyzed online like a crime scene, with TikTokers slowing it down and examining every move. Some accused Claressa of baiting Remy, while others blamed Remy for not controlling her temper. Celebrities once again weighed in, with Cardi B tweeting, "This isn't what the culture needs," and Meek Mill posting, praying they're both good. But things were not going well behind the scenes. Claressa's response was far more direct. She went live sitting in her car without makeup, wearing a hoodie, and she looked straight into the camera, saying, "Let's stop pretending I've been silent long enough. I'm not the aggressor here. I came to support a good cause," and she tried to humiliate me in front of everyone. Remy's team immediately went into damage control, releasing a vague statement that read, "Remy May is focused on positivity, her family, and her upcoming projects. She won't be entertaining unnecessary distractions." She paused, then added, with an icy calm, "Remy Ma's real problem is that I don't fear her. They go mad out of fear." Claressa covered everything in the 40-minute live stream, which was uploaded hundreds of times. She included screenshots in her version of what happened that evening, as well as the supposed BDS drama. She even said that Remy was going to try something. Therefore, she had been warned not to go to the event. At the same time, Followers were playing back old recordings of Remy talking about other female celebrities that she had issues with. Resurfaced was a podcast from 2 years ago in which Remy was questioned about Claressa Shields and whether or not she respected her hustle. She's a beast, no doubt, but she acts like she has something to prove every second. That's not confidence. That's insecurity, was her comment at the time. Fans shared it all over the place, and TikTok was lit up with hashtags like #RemySheether, and even though #Claressa was trending for 48 hours straight, the insider leak meant that the drama was far from ended. In the muffled clip, a well-known entertainment blogger posted a voice message allegedly from a member of the Remy Mas crew. Fans were certain that Remy had planned a confrontation all along, and Mona Scott was upset in an emergency Zoom call that was leaked by someone on set. The voice said, "I told Rem not to confront her at the event. She didn't care. She said Claressa had been talking mess." Mona's voice could be heard stating, "This wasn't supposed to go down like that. How many brands are there?" The most surprising moment occurred later that evening when Remy, wearing all black and standing by herself against a misty background, finally spoke up on her own terms. She responded, "You've been disrespected so many times that you stopped being classy. That's where I'm at. I tried to be tough and remain silent, but the fact is that I don't care who you've defeated in the ring. You don't step to me unless you're prepared for battle." Fans created merch edits of the altercation, and the internet went crazy. "We are dedicated to resolving disputes and establishing a secure and responsible environment for our artists to express their truth. As we dealt with this issue, we encouraged supporters to respect the privacy of both women, but it was too late. The world had already made a decision." Just when fans believed that the feud between Claressa Shields and Remy Ma could get much better, a new bombshell was about to be revealed. A former friend of Ray was going to come forward with tapes. Messier, the internet erupted again when stylist Tasha Green, Remy Ma's former BFF, made a life-altering revelation live on Instagram. After teasing that she had receipts, Tasha, who had been Remy's stylist for years and was reportedly a member of her inner circle until 2023, posted a series of now-deleted Instagram stories that shocked the public. Among the most explosive was a private audio recording in which a voice that fans immediately identified as Remy Ma said, "This girl thinks she's all that because she got medals and belts, but I got a legacy. I got a name. If she continues to prod, I will check her out in public, even if it's at a funeral." It didn't concern fans, but it was evidence that Remy orchestrated the fight at the charity event. Tasha claimed that Remy had been waiting for the ideal moment to publicly embarrass Claressa and that the recording was made weeks before the event. But that wasn't the only audio. Tasha also posted screenshots of alleged direct messages between Claressa and the Ray stylist team, which showed Claressa reaching out to them over a sneaker call-out. Although her description told a different story, the communications were polite, respectful, and solely business-related. Business. "I asked for a brand contract rather than a ceasefire, and this whole situation is starting to seem more like jealousy than beef." But Ray's remark was what really got people talking. Rather than rejecting the recordings, she sent a mysterious tweet that read, "Let the snakes talk. I never needed to expose the truth. It exposes itself eventually." Fans were wildly creative with their interpretations, but no one knew. The real twist came during a segment on a popular show. Mona Scott tried to defuse the situation again, even suggesting a sit-down with both women to air the affair on camera. But Claressa publicly declined, saying, "I don't do private fixes for public disrespect," and added, "We went viral. Then let's finish this the same way where everybody can see it." Remy might have gotten in touch with another female boxer weeks before the event to help humble Claressa, according to an exclusive revelation revealed by GWOAT, the morning show radio DJ. Fans immediately speculated that the fighter, whose name was kept a secret, might be someone Claressa had a grudge against from her amateur days. The emergence of an old video showing Claressa clashing with a female boxer backstage during a weigh-in in 2019 gave rise to this notion, and guess What? Her recent caustic tweet made it obvious that Remy had been secretly organizing the altercation with Claressa's competitors. This was a takedown attempt, and Claressa wasn't just being personal. It was also political. Giving in, she unveiled a 4-minute promotional film that was more like a championship trailer than a clapback set to dramatic music. The video showed Claressa walking through a boxing gym in slow motion, putting on gloves, shadow boxing, and giving a terrifying speech. They want me to fall because they think I should stay in my lane and don't belong there, but this is about legacies, not lanes. Simply because your light is no longer shining doesn't mean you can extinguish mine. Bold white letters, still uncontested and unconcerned, marked the end of the video. Fans were about to believe that this was becoming a full-fledged marketing battle when Beatty entered the fray. Drama behind the scenes, such as the infamous night between Claressa and Remy, in addition to fuzzy audio reaction interviews with other celebrities such as Rashida Spice. The trailer included footage from the charity dinner and even love and hip-hop producers who gave their own accounts of what happened. The most startling footage was when Yandy Smith stated, "I told Remy she should have let it go, but once Claressa stepped in the building, Ray's whole vibe changed. She wanted to smoke." Meanwhile, Claressa's supporters, who are now known as the Shield Soldiers, launched an online campaign calling for Ray to apologize and brand accountability. Due to Ray's notoriety, major sponsors for her next tour began to pull out. Ray's team said nothing, but that just made the rumors worse. There were instant suspicions of marital stress after Papoose, Remy Ma's husband, wrote and then removed a tweet. Has he brought up Remy? Was he protecting Claressa? Was he only attempting to defuse the situation? Though no one knew, tabloids were rife with ideas. Then Ray made a startling move. She went live from her bedroom instead of her typical glamorous setting, with her hair tied up, no makeup, and a lower voice. "I won't say I'm sorry for defending myself, but I will admit that I lost my temper and let the world see it." She didn't give Claressa's name or take anything back, but she concluded by sometimes the truth is about who heals, not always about who is right. First, Claressa posted a live video clip with the caption, "Accountability starts when the cameras turn off. Let's see what happens next." So what was next? Fans were shocked to hear that Claressa Shields had consented to an exclusive sit-down interview on The Breakfast Club, where she promised to tell her side of the story, no edits, no filters, just facts. Rumors circulated that Remy M was being considered for a follow-up segment separately, of course, because producers allegedly wanted to capitalize on the viral drama and show both sides in what they called a healing arc while the drama was still simmering. According to reports, Claressa was being considered for a spin-off series on female athletes navigating the entertainment world by Mona Scott and her production team. By the end of the week, it was evident that this was a fight of brand devotion and legacies rather than just a personal grudge. Some believed this was her attempt to replace Remy. When it appeared that everything might be coming to an end, a fresh leak appeared. A voice memo allegedly from Claressa's team that described a furious phone conversation in which Remy threatened to sue if Claressa used her name in promotional materials again. The line between personal and professional life had entirely blurred, and the two ladies were getting ready for a final confrontation. And there it was, a confrontation so raw and intense that it completely upended the entertainment business. If this story tells us anything, it's that anything can happen, so be sure to click the notification bell to make sure you don't miss the next twist in this drama.